What the fuck did I just watch? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. We're continuing on with episodic reviews of Netflix's live action Resident Evil series. Now, before we go ahead and continue with this, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we have going on this channel. And you guys got to forgive me. I've been working, so I've been tired, but now we're getting back into it. I'm probably going to do one to two today and maybe one or two tomorrow. But hopefully, maybe if I'm lucky, I can end up getting everything out within the next 2 days. But let's go ahead and get it. All right, cool. I remember that time. So let's go ahead and talk about this clusterfuck of an episode. I have no idea what the writers and directors thinking that when they did this series. Now, one of the problems coming up frequently is the fact that they keep jumping between the past and the present too often, and it kind of makes some of the situations, especially the more tense uh, areas of the episode, less tense because it'll be something going on. It's interesting, and then we'll flash to a different scene doing, and then something happens there, and then before we can get into it, it flashes back. So it's been kind of a clusterfuck of just jumping between the past and the future. So I feel like what's that guy? The movie with the guy who can travel through time, but he can't control it, so he keeps popping in and out of his wife's life at different points because he can't control his time travel. I feel like that at this point. So let's go ahead and get into episode 4, The Turn. And don't know what they mean by that. I mean, I have the idea of what they're alluding to, but I think the title doesn't even fucking make sense. But let's go ahead and talk about that. Y'all see my bloom over there? It's getting this thing. It was given to me on my birthday, and so it's been floating in the air for like the last 2 months. Got to give it to the materials on point. But let's get into it. So the episode starts off with the weird reporter guy that Jade ended up getting in contact with. He's interviewing a woman. The woman is seemingly the wife of the man that was infected in Tijuana. So you get that interesting bit. And this is my thing, and I said this for the Halo reviews, which I didn't film those. I wrote them down. So if you want to check those out, NarikChase.com. Each episode, I have my thoughts down on it. But anyways, I feel like this Resident Evil, like I said with the Halo series, could have possibly been a better anthology that followed the games, telling different stories, and having a reporter trying to expose Umbrella, or some guy trying to expose Umbrella, whistleblower, whatever, somebody that actually been affected by it, would make for a very interesting story, especially if it's like what happened to the Stars characters in the books. In the books, Umbrella went after the member who survived the uh, the Raccoon City incident, who survived the Mansion incident as well. So you have these people that are trying to expose Umbrella while Umbrella's trying to hunt them. Not a bad story, actually pretty cool. And I think that will make for an interesting episode, interesting series, just not this one. So, anyways, the woman ends up getting him on just talking about her husband, and she just gives him a chip or whatever. And I'm assuming this has happened before the event, before the show starts. So, the whole incident, but either before or as the show starting. So, anyways, the woman ends up giving him a flash drive. He sees all this evidence of what happened in Raccoon City, about it being popped with the nuclear device, sanitized, as they said in the Resident Evil movies, and then it goes to the future. And the last episode, the end of the episode, Jay got knocked the fuck out by one of the Brotherhood members, which she definitely deserved that, especially given all the stuff that she's done. So, her and Baxter are they're caught by Brotherhood members. They passing up these crosses with all of these dead bodies, fucked up and stuff hanging from them, everything. That you're having a bit of talking and everything. Baxter starts doing the goofy shit that, and for those who don't know, Baxter is the non-threatening guy that I had said came to pick up Jade, but end up shooting everybody and just crazy shit. It's basically the bad white guy of the series so far, and he's shown to be somewhat incompetent. One of the things that comes a topic of conversation is SpongeBob. He's talking about how he likes SpongeBob, and SpongeBob's best friend is Starfish, and even Jay going on. So, and then I noticed something too. Now, in the previous episode, he got popped in the shoulder, and it doesn't look like it. And then later on, there's something happens, and you're like, if he got shot in the shoulder, how's he doing this shit? So, but let me go ahead, pump the brakes, and keep my pacing on point, unlike this show. So, and he's just holding it. And again, it goes back to that thing why I hate watching movies where people get shot, stabbed, cut, wounded in some kind of capacity, and nobody takes their clothes off to dress the wound. So he's just sitting here holding his shoulder. He got fucking shot in the shoulder. I would expect there to be a lot more blood than what we saw. All you see is a little patch right there. We don't know up. We didn't see that. We don't know if he's just if he threw some dirt in it or something, or you chew the little the plants and stuff to make like a herb, and you put it. We don't know what the fuck happened. He don't even look like he got shot actually. Even if he did manage to patch up the wound, all of this should have just been straight up just blood. But we don't see none of that. And I did notice that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Did he get shot in the shoulder with a BB gun or what? And it didn't even seem like he got shot in the shoulder. It seemed like he got shot like right here. But okay, it's here somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere right here in the episode, like he got popped here. But apparently it was up here somewhere. But still, where all the fucking blood though? He was bleeding less than Billy was when she got attacked by a fucking dog. Wesker is with this crew that he probably should have had a long ass time ago. He's running tests, it fails, and I've gotta say, I had to seriously go back and think about what I just saw. He does this thing where he's like freaking out, and at first I thought, well, maybe he needs to take his injection again. But then he like bends over the table and he like pushes stuff out, push all the stuff out. So I'm like, wait a minute, he was throwing a fit because the cure didn't work, which I understand, but the way it came off with it, he was either throwing a fit because he needed to take his injection or he had failed. So they did the work on the side. I was like, what the fuck happened to this guy? I was like, he fell? Oh, didn't fall. He just bent on the table and did like this to move all and knock all the stuff out the way. So I was like, oh, okay. But no, it looked like he stumbled and fell. So it right there. But anyways, yeah, it looks like he almost fell. It goes back to Jade and Billy. They're sitting here having drama. Billy is contemplating she's fucking dying. She thinks that one of the best things that they should do is fucking tell their dad, which they should, which he should have been told, and they could have worked, and this would have been a better thing because they could have utilized that as an opportunity for them to work as a family unit. Because most of what we've seen so far is basically been Wesker doing his thing, trying to protect his daughters, and his daughters been doing their thing, and I'm like, they don't feel like a family unit. It's not like he's like, okay, I should tell her that I know she's infected, and we figure out where to go from there. And there's everybody dancing around it, so it feels like there's a bunch of unnecessary drama, honestly. So Simon punk ass, the because he's already a poorly written character, and she's just a trash character. Text her and invite her to a party, and I'm thinking to myself, when did y'all exchange numbers? So of course Billy's like, well, I'm about to die anyway. Let's go ahead and have some fun. So what happens at the party? Don't know. Went straight to the future. So present, whatever you call it. So the Brotherhood is actually all the Brotherhood members end up taking them to a jail. And I couldn't help but think. I was like, so what the fuck is this? Is this a mix of Resident Evil Afterlife meets Resident Evil Revelations 2? and they see all of these. They see these zombies turning the big wheel thing, like you seen in Conan the Barbarian when he was growing up. He was turning that big wheel thing. They use it like horses to turn it to generate power. And what happening is the zombies are doing it. So Jay's trying to figure out how they're getting the zombies to coordinate well enough to turn this. And they end up meeting the leader. The leader, just one of the most forgettable fucking characters I've ever seen. At one point, I thought it was that one guy with the weird voice from The Crow who had the long hair. He was like the leader then. He played an Alien Resurrection as the captain who got killed, like the first guy that fucking got killed. He's got a really cool voice. I thought it was him at first, then I thought it was Tim Roth. And then I was like, um, not Tim Roth, the other guy that looks like Tim Roth. The guy that played Blaine's father in iZombie. I thought it was that guy. But then obviously it's not. It's somebody else. And he's literally one of the most fucking worthless in television. He's that fucking forgettable. Nothing interesting about the character at all. It's a wonder he was even brought into this scenario. Probably would have worked out better if they didn't even have a fucking leader. That's just how bad this character just resonated with me. But anyway, so he's talking about he's like this religious zealot saying God did all of this stuff. Obvious trope. Writers didn't give two fucks about what they were doing with this character, obviously. So it was an obvious trope of this being a religious thing, kind of. Wouldn't have probably thought of it from the. I don't really see any evidence of it in anything else. So he's talking a bunch of shit, which there was no build up to it. It just literally just came out of nowhere. But to my controlling zombies and all of that, talking about how the billions that were already sacrificed to make way for the chosen bullshit again. Jade ends up knocking one of the fucking guards down out for a second and then punches the leader, and I'm thinking to myself, they're not gonna shoot the shit out this bitch for this. They're not gonna throw her in a pen full of zombies for this. Why is she still alive after doing that? And I'm trying to figure out what was the fucking point of her doing that. Now I can understand if she'd have knocked the guard out, took his gun, and held, because it would have seemed more like a tactical and strategic way of them to get out of the situation that they're in. They're in this jail filled with zombies, being controlled by unknown means with a bunch of guys with guns who have no qualms about killing them. And what did this dumb bitch do? Punch the leader. And then, of course, the leader isn't fucking threatening because he didn't hit her back, for one thing. He didn't tell them to shoot her or anything. He didn't tell her to throw it to the zombies. He didn't do anything to secure any kind of a foothold in my mind that he's a badass and he should be feared. So that was a load of bullshit. Bullshit. Again, forgettable fucking character. But I tell you what he did do. He did throw him in the jail cell. Just Baxter and Jade. But I thought it was kind of weird because the guards, the goons, were their Baxter's goons. The ones that gave up their weapons when they probably could have just had them at a standstill in the previous episode, because there's enough of them. It's like, okay, no, we're not going to put our guns down. Like I said, if it was one goon and it was like 10 of the Brotherhood members, it would make more sense. But if you got like 6 people with guns, you got like 10 people with guns, the 6 people ain't going to put their guns down. That's still a decent number to hold back. So I'm like, okay. So, anyways, what interesting thing happens in the present time? We don't know. Goes straight back to the past. Of course, Jay, Billy are walking through this. At first, I thought they was at the party, but obviously they weren't. I don't know where the fuck these two girls was walking. Jade is pointing out all of these other people's deficiencies and imperfections and stuff. Talking about how this one person has an implant in their butt, this one person has implants in their chest, this person's overly fit, this person's got hair plugs, and I'm thinking to myself, so everybody that's walking around there has something different. It's not like they had 3 people with butt implants, pays or wigs or something like that. She literally was just pointing out deficiencies with all of these people, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck are they saying? Is it consumerism? Are they talking about people obsessing over their appearances? Are they talking about people with money obsessing over their appearances? And I'm like, I guess that's a thing, but it doesn't really seem like an interesting bit to be put into a Resident Evil series. But I'm like, okay, I guess. And then it just again more unnecessary drama between these two characters. I mean, it's kind of a decent bit where Billy's like, well, if I start to exhibit, you just go crazy, get away from me because I don't want to hurt you. Jade is like, oh, we're sisters. I'm always going to stay here with you. I'm always going to be here with you. And that probably would have worked out if both of these characters weren't trash characters. I could have probably went with it with them, but and they both have the same fuck. And I get it because what's going on in the series, but most of the fucking stupid ass expression on their face, where they're both like they both have the same expression all the time. It's like when people try are acting and they're a little bit overly dramatic about it, like that. Like when me and my wife was watching the Chucky series, and you had the one fucking guy who had that same expression throughout the entire damn series, where he's like mouth hanging open and just looks so fucking dumb. These girls have that same expression. I wish they would change it. Jade mostly has resting bitch face most of the time, but then she's got this same sorry, see it over dramatized expression, and Billy maintains that shit. I thought one would think that it probably would be a result of her transforming into a zombie or being sick or infected. No, she just pretty much has that entire time. So they just get on my nerves just seeing it. Again, maybe it's because I just don't like the characters and I'm just nitpicking, but damn, they need to do something with that. So we're gonna go straight back into the future slash present, where Baxter and Jade are in the cell. They're talking. You get a bit more what's going on with Baxter's character, and he does make some interesting. He does say some shit, and I'm like, okay, he's kind of an interesting character. He's like, between Brotherhood and Umbrella, and the kids of my life and everything. So of course I'm gonna go with Umbrella and not these Brotherhood people. And then he pulls out a picture, and you're like, oh, he's got kids. No, he pulls a fucking zombie land, and he pulls out um, a picture of 2 dogs. Now in Zombieland, they made reference to this. They did the same thing where Tallahassee is saying the same thing, and and they makes it, and it was a dog. But honestly, they did. I think they did go back and say it was his actual son. But at first, they made it seem like he had a dog. It was a dog he was talking about. Or maybe I'm getting that mixed up with somebody else. I do know there was another character that they did all of that with. Had all of this build up, and then you find out they're talking about their fucking pet. So, and they do this with the dogs and stuff. And you can tell, I like the dude that I like in this episode. The dude Baxter actually does a really good job to me. I didn't like him in really anything else, but it seemed like when the shit hit the fucking fan, his character got pretty serious, and I actually liked his character. And actually, the dude sold me on this. It's just me not having high expectations or whatever, or high standards, but he actually sold me on this scene. So I actually like the guy in this episode. So, but continue on. We're gonna go back to the past. The two girls end up going to the party. They had this big, massive fucking party at a construction site. There's a lot of like health violations and stuff. Why the fuck would they be having a party at a construction site? Why isn't the construction site cordoned off? It's Umbrella, and it's Umbrella, but then again, it is Umbrella. And from what this show says, no matter how fucking don't need any kind of security at all. No kind of protocols or measures to keep people out your shit. So, okay, fine. So you see Simon does his skateboard thing, and he flies up and lands in some foam or something. And I'm like, that's fucking dumb. And everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, that's lame as shit. He literally just rolled the skateboard up, flew in the air, and fell. That's basically what he did. And everybody praising him for it. I can understand if he just flew up, did a nice, cool trick, and then landed and kept going. I give you props for that, not for fucking riding up in the air and flying and falling. And then Jade is like looking at him, and she kind of gives him like the googly eyes. So you're like, okay, but even their brief interactions, like two or three of them that's been happening. The first one, you can tell she kind of doesn't like him or whatever. But like the later one, she kind of has. You can see that's kind of an attraction with her and him on that. And this episode definitely kind of showed that. Not that I gave a shit because I don't like Jay because she's a bitch and Simon's just a completely forgettable uh, mushroom head character with no personality and no likable traits whatsoever. So um, the reporter guy, I can't remember this guy's name. He just that fucking forgettable. They even said it and I didn't even write it down because I just didn't care. He is in New Raccoon City, and how the fuck he got from Tijuana to New Raccoon City? Because it seems like in the past episodes with Jade and Sister Billy, all of this shit literally happened within the first week. It seems like all of this shit's happening within like the first week of them getting there. She just contacted the kid. They go fucking train again. Let me go ahead and pause it, y'all. But anyways, now we're back to everything. I heard that scream. That was my wife. She saw something she did not like. But anyways, so this guy comes from Tijuana or wherever the fuck he came from. I'm thinking it's Tijuana or whatever because again at the beginning of the episode he was interviewing somebody, and I'm thinking that's where the wife of the guy that was infected in Tijuana. So I'm thinking he was in Tijuana or whatever, and somehow he got to somehow he found out where the fuck this girl stayed. I don't remember her telling him that she stayed in New Raccoon City, but somehow he found out where she stayed and tracked her down. Why the fuck would he do that to a 14-year-old girl? And how does that come off looking not too good? So okay, fine. So Evelyn is doing yoga with her wife. Why we need to see this is fucking dumb. And there's a goat in the scene, and the goat is standing on Evelyn's back. I don't understand what the fuck the point of the goat on her back was because the wife have a goat, but I actually like the goat in the scene. The goat did a good job. It just stood there and didn't do shit. So I actually like that. But anyways, Evelyn gets a phone call. Umbrella Security then picked up the reporter guy on the cameras. They conveniently placed camera that wasn't nowhere to be fucking seen when Jade and Billy broke in the fucking umbrella and all of this bullshit started. We don't have cameras inside the building. We don't have cameras outside the building. We don't have cameras on the premises. We don't have cameras leading up to the premises. But we got a fucking camera for this random ass guy. What is it? Face recognition? It doesn't recognize their shit, but it recognizes his. But okay. So he's there. The goat was there. Wesker comes home. He gets handcuffs. Has a needle. Gets ready to subdue. Finds out that neither of the sisters there. End of that scene. Going back to the future. Jade and Baxter again talking. They're trying to figure out how to get out of there. Baxter says the bullet that he took to his chest/shoulder went straight through, and I'm thinking I should have went back and seen that episode. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm quite sure that bullet didn't go straight through. I'm quite sure that bullet hit him, knocked him on his ass, and stayed in there. I didn't see no exit room. I don't remember that being the exit. Maybe I need to go back and watch that scene again, but I'm quite sure there wasn't an exit room. So So that is a pretty sensitive spot because if you could take the right amount of damage, you can either fuck up your lung, your heart, or the movement in your arm. So there's a lot that goes in this area, just outside of just be bleeding. I hope maybe somebody can go on to YouTube and have a nurse or something take a look at that scene and be like, I'm quite sure he got shot right there. He probably wouldn't be able to move his arm as well as he does, especially again later on in one of the what's about to happen. But of course, there's this chainsaw guy that comes out of fucking nowhere. Two of the guards take one of the umbrella goons, and the guy gets sawed in the back for some. The chainsaw guy saws him in the back for some fucking reason, and maybe it's spinal fluid or something because there was a very specific place he cut the guy, and he took a specific body part and he threw it into this cage or whatever, and there's this woman, this ugly ass zombie woman down there that eats the whatever it was that the chainsaw guy sawed out of the man or whatever, and she screams. And when she screams, the zombies react. Now, the reason why this scene happened is because during the turning of the wheel, it stopped. The zombies stopped turning it, and when she screamed, they started turning it again. And then I'm thinking to myself, Resident Evil fucking 6, those screecher things. And they were fucking awesome. Those in that game, they were fucking awesome. You didn't see too many of them, but you get the best of it. When they do show up, they're fucking awesome. So I was like, okay, they got that on Resident Evil 6, so they just pulling shit. And you can kind of see the little swollen shit in her neck and everything. So that's another reason I'm like, yeah, it's a little screecher thing. I can't remember what they're called, though. So I was like, I guess. And Baxter's like, okay, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. We gotta bounce. So he's trying to make an escape plan. Jade is being a dumb bitch. The moment he said we need to get out of here, she should have just been on board. But she's like, well, how can I trust you? Like, can't you worry about that after I get the fuck out of this zealot's prison where he's feeding fucking body parts to zombies or people to get fucking chainsawed? And I was like, the chainsaw guy probably would have been cool had it been a better fucking show, or the sequence could have been a bit better. But okay. And then another thing kind of got me was, I'm like, what was the fucking point of him doing that? Why not just, I don't know, tie the guard up or whatever, tie the umbrella goon up or whatever, and just throw him in there and let him eat his ass. But then I'm like, okay, if we did that, we won't need the chainsaw guy. El Salvador or the Magini chainsaw guy, which I guess this might be the Magini chainsaw. I don't fucking know. El Salvador? I don't know. I don't know which chainsaw guy that they're referencing. For some reason, after part 4, we had like 3 or 4 of them chainsaw guys. But anyways, so they managed to get out of there, and I was thoroughly shocked because Baxter takes up the action scene in this, where they're trying to get out. There's a firefight. They're fighting zombies. There's guards fighting. Baxter is the one that does it. The way the series has been going, you'd think Jade would be the one doing this. There's 2 guards that are outside the cell after they break out. Baxter takes care of it. I was like, okay, that's fucking badass. The dopey character that we didn't think was worth a shit actually has some fucking skills. Now, it's kind of weird considering he got shot in the fucking shoulder/chest, and the way he's moving and everything, you're like, he probably shouldn't be able to do that. But it's still kind of a pretty cool moment. There's a firefight and everything. They're shooting against the Brotherhood guys. Pretty generic. Baxter, there's these, like, they're trying to figure out a way in there. Jade is pressuring Baxter. And Jade is like, I don't have a gun. Baxter ends up setting free the umbrella goons. They end up all getting weapons but Jade. Jade picks up the chainsaw. They're trying to get out of there. Baxter ends up doing probably one of the dumbest things. But we all knew what was gonna fucking happen. I was disappointed how, but he's like, okay, I don't know how to get the fuck out here. I don't know how to read this shit, but he ends up flipping all of these switches, and what happens? Zombies get, the zombie, the cages, the cells open up and zombies come out, and all of the fucking umbrella goons get eaten. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's not like they fought the zombies. They literally just got overran. And I'm like, where the fuck all these zombies came from? That was one of my problems I had with the first Resident Evil movie. At one point, when the SWAT team are down there, and I'd watched the movie like 30 times before I noticed this. All the SWAT team people are down there with Alice, and for like the first level, you don't see any fucking zombies. It'd be different if you saw dead bodies here, like scattered about, zombies scattered about on each level, but you don't see that. And then it comes to a certain point where all of the zombies just show up out of fucking nowhere in droves, and you're like, where the fuck are all these zombies? I'm quite sure all of these employees weren't in this area. Like there's a part in the movie where they're in the sewer, and I'm like, where the fuck did all these zombies come from? And these zombies, what they're doing? What are they doing in the sewer? So and like the same thing happens here, and then the way the zombies move and stuff. I'm sorry, I don't like it because they're moving. They don't move like like mindless beasts. They move like they don't. A lot of the times when you see the zombies pursuing them, they're like, there's no reason for them to pursue them because they don't know where the people are. So why are the zombies moving the way they're moving? Now you can make an argument that the screaming zombie is telling them what to do, but even still, that zombies don't know where the fuck the people are. So why are they rushing the way they are in the directions that they're rushing? It's not like they're standing about and then they notice somebody, then they chase them. No, these fucking zombies are just rushing, and it just doesn't flow. It feels so contrived the way these zombies are attacking. But anyway, I was fucking pissed off that all of these damn umbrella goons got fucking attacked and eaten. I like that's a load of bullshit. I'm like, why the fuck do these zombies? Why? Like I said, I knew that all the cages were going to open, but I thought the cages was going to open on the ends of the Brotherhood, and then all of the Umbrella and Jade would have to fight their way through it. Like, no, all of the cages that they were next to opened, and all the zombies ate the goons. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? See, moments like that, people, see, I like watching movies where you have, and Resident Evil 1 did this, the movie did this, where you have all of these characters wearing masks. But then when shit hits the fan, they take their mask off, and you get to see who these characters are beneath the mask. I thought that was what was going to happen. We get to actually get clued into who these characters are, work under Umbrella, and their thoughts and stuff are. But no, they all got fucking swarmed and eaten. But I will say, Baxter gets one of the best moments in the series. It does. It's fucking stupid. And I know I'm an asshole for enjoying it, but I liked it. I like the choreography of the fight. It's him just taking on these zombies. Now, if you haven't seen Resident Evil Vendetta, there's like 2 or 3 moments in it where Chris and Leon are zombies, and it's this choreographed fight where they're using like wrestling moves and different move sets that they have. Uh, One where like he'll grab a zombie by the arm, swing him around, shoot one zombie, turn around, shoot the zombie that he had swung. Like some shit like that, some John Wick shit. Where this dude does this in this film. I mean, in this episode, it was actually pretty cool. I was entertained with it. I thought it was shot pretty cool. I thought just the way it was, the music I thought actually was pretty cool with it too. Scene, especially with a character that I thought was just fucking incompetent and non-threatening. But I'm like, okay, obviously, okay, fine. That was actually a pretty cool scene. I'll give him that. And the whole time I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, where the fuck is Jade? So it goes back into the past. Billy's Billy, for some fucking reason, saw Simon earlier do the little skateboard thing, and she's like, okay, I want to live a little. So she gets on the skateboard, skates down the thing. Now, when Simon did it, he flew up in the air with the skateboard. Billy actually launched off the fucking skateboard before she got to the ramp, or as she was on the ramp, and I thought she fell. But she did the same thing. She lands on those cushion stuff, and everybody's like, yay! And I was like, it's not fucking impressive. But Billy is mad because Jade talking to Simon, feel some type of way. And instead of her being like, oh, you got somebody that's interested in you, cool. She's like, oh, you're going to forget me after Jade goes looking for her. She's like, oh, you're going to forget me. You're going to have Simon. And I'm like, well, one, they don't even know. It's just like day 3. So just because she talked to Simon 1 or 2 fucking times doesn't mean that they're going to be together. And why are you thinking about that? I mean, I can understand her having this kind of weird, this kind of decent situation with her mortality and stuff. But even so, it's like, this just feels like CW drama. Just a bunch of unnecessary drama that shouldn't be in a Resident Evil show. But next thing you know, the reporter dude makes it there. And he for Jade. And he asks the kid for Jade. And for some reason, the kid yells Narik. And then everybody just fucking runs. And I was like, why would you do that? He says he's looking for one person, and you just yell "narc," and everybody just fucking runs. And it's quite obvious this guy is not a police or anything, or I don't fucking know. So he ends up seeing Jade. Jade and Billy run because this is the reporter guy she talked to. Then he ends up finding them. He tells them, and I'm thinking my first question was, how the fuck you know where they were? And he shows them a, Billy says the same thing, or is it Jay? Billy says the same exact thing. He pulls up a phone with her, a picture of her falling before she hit the cushion. And I'm thinking to myself, why would anybody fucking take a picture of that? It might have been a video, but it looked like a picture. I'm like, what? Who the fuck would take a picture of her right before she hits the cushion? Not take a video of her actually rolling down the thing and then flying through the air. No, not do the same thing for Simon. Just take a picture of her falling. And I'm like, even if they did, what did the picture say? Exactly where they were? And I'm thinking to myself too, I was like, so this guy early in the episode was looking up, I don't know if he was looking up Jade's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, I don't know what it is. But he ended up just subscribing to all the ones that he saw or whatever. And I'm not sure if he subscribed to all the friends. I don't fucking know what it was. I just know it was a bunch of names popped up, and I thought he was looking for Jade, and he just subscribed to all of them. How do you know that all of these people have this shit? I don't have any fucking idea. But anyways, so I'm thinking to myself too. So set up on the timeline. I was like, How did you follow them for that to pop for you to see that? So So I was like, the chances of you finding out that that's her Facebook friend or whatever, or that kid, like, how did you fucking know? It's like if I go to a party and I get drunk and I fall out and shit myself or something, and then somebody takes a picture of me and post it on their timeline, and then you come looking for me, and somehow you friend that person that I don't even fucking know to find me. And I'm like, so how did you friend that person? You don't even know who that person is. So I don't freaking know. This guy don't even know if that girl is friends with these people. How in the hell did he get? I don't. You know what? I'm done. I'm tired of thinking about that. It's just fucking annoying me. But anyways, so he tracks him down. He talks to him. He's like, hey, who was the person that was bit? This is what happened. Gives him the rundown of what happened in Raccoon City. And it's like, okay, I guess they're trying to make this. I heard it was canon, and I guess it is. But the way that they keep dancing around it and trying to make Tijuana this thing makes it seem like it wasn't. So I'm like, okay, they talk about Raccoon City, fine. I wonder if they're gonna mention, I don't know, any of the core characters: Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy. And now that I think about it, in the actual Resident Evil canon, even if you say this is up to part 5, which I think, in fact, this episode actually talks about. Resident Evil 5 came out in 2009, I believe. In Resident Evil 5, Wesker dies. The dude says Wesker died. In two, your father, who he says he is, and Raccoon actually is a cover up because of the outbreak. And I'm thinking to myself, well, in the game lore, Wesker died because he was killed by Sheva and Chris. Chris and Sheva were part of the bioterroristic terrorism unit for, that dealt with like BOWs, outbreaks, and stuff like that. Because at the same time, Claire is working with TerraSave, Leon is working with the Secret Service and the President and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. All of these characters have been through these ordeals and stuff. Everything's already been established about the zombie outbreak and all of that stuff. So why don't any of these characters know about outbreak and stuff? And then the thing about also is all of these different incidences that have happened since the first fucking game, and none of these characters know anything about them. Like the whole biohazard thing, the whole viral outbreak. Again, Raccoon City wasn't the only incident. There's been several different incidences, and you're telling me nobody knows about Umbrella, the viral incidences, or anything like that? Nobody. It's not common at this point in the games. I'm not saying it's common knowledge, but it's known that this shit has happened several times. None of these fucking characters know about it. Just like when they had the conversation with Evelyn having the interview and everything, they mentioned Raccoon City. But that's the only thing they mentioned. I'm like, there were other instances that happened. So we're not going to talk about any of those? Because preceding Raccoon City was the mansion attacks. Was the mansion. The mansion, there was people getting attacked and eating around in the forest or surrounding the mansion. After Jill, Chris, Barry escaped that mansion, there was a time period before the second and third game where like shit started kind of happening a little bit more. People started attacking each other. There were more incidences. It wasn't like, okay, they left the house and the next hell broke loose in Raccoon City. No, it was like it was a time period that built up. Then it happened. And so none of this shit was fucking reported. At this point, nobody's actually went out and said this is what the fuck happened. And all of these other instances. The reason why Leon is working with the Secret Service is a result of, that happening. TerraSave, the I can't remember what it's called now. The BSS, something like that. I can't remember. Whatever Chris is working with. It was founded by Jill and Chris, and I think and a couple other, but mainly those two. So TerraSave and the bio unit terrorism thing, they were founded as a result of the viral outbreak. They are there when the viral outbreak happens. That's who you call. So how the fuck nobody knows that was a fucking viral outbreak? That's the thing that's getting me. They make it seem like Raccoon was the only time that this shit happened, and then everybody just fucking wiped it off, and nobody knows, nobody remembers what happened there. There was no result of it. It just that was it. TerraSave was never formed to act as a relief just in case that shit happened again. The bio unit terroristic thing that Chris is a part of is there to combat that shit just in case it happens. But okay, fine. So the girls run. The guy's chasing them again. I'm tired of these girls fucking running. We think this is like Seabiscuit or something. How much of these girls is running? But next you know, the Umbrella security come and arrest this guy. So jumping back to the future, Baxter had this moment, and then we see Jade is running down into some corridor. She ends up running past some survivor. Survivors, leave and everything. She ends up talking to the leader who's there, and he's like, "Well, we found this bitch in the forest." And I'm like, so that's all the story that we get of this screaming zombie. They found her in the forest. Truly brilliant writing. So I do like this moment where Jade is like, okay, she's looking towards the door and she's looking towards the direction where the scream is coming from. She's like, I could either fucking run or I could kill this thing. And I love that moment of indecision because it seems like a lot of what's been going on is her character just been kind of set in this mindset of I know everything and I don't care what I do and how it affects other people. But I like this moment of indecision because she could run and this thing could go out and start doing some crazy shit, and or she can go ahead and try to kill this thing and potentially get killed herself. She does have a child, so I did like that moment. That's one of the little interesting moments that they put in the series for the character. That moments like that show development of a character, and it's not that she's like she made the decision offhand. It was like, you know what, I have to go out and kill this creature. No, it was a moment of indecision because like, what would you do? Would you risk your life and last time seeing your family to try to kill this creature? Like I like that. That's a good moment. That's good. That right there, that's how you build character development. So she decides ultimately to go take care of her zombies. Now this is a part I didn't fucking understand. The screaming zombie, she's watching the screaming zombie down there with like 10 other zombies. For some reason, these there's a cell. All of these 10 zombies walk into the cell for some reason. There's nothing in there. There's nobody in there. There's nothing of any interest in there whatsoever fucking ever. But all 10 of them happen to just walk in there, and the screaming zombie is the last zombie. All 10 of them walk into this cell. Jay flips the switch, locks the door on their ass, and I was like, so it was just convenient. They walked in there, just to give the screaming zombie a moment to fight with somebody. Because what happens? Jay pops up. Her and the screaming zombie have a little bout. She manages to cut the thing's head off. I like the way it looks because it's the way the practical looks. The scene setup looks pretty cool. It's kind of flashy at moments and it's kind of hard to see what's going on, and they keep with the edits and stuff. But if they were to actually kept it as one shot of her sawing through this zombie and everything, and the fight just a little bit better with the editing, it would have been just perfect for me. But it was decent. It was really grotesque. It was really nasty. I actually did like it because it did show. Again, it's one of those moments where you kind of felt like, okay, she's not invincible. She doesn't have everything handled. I like that. They gave me that for her in this scene. But she manages to kill it. She picks up the head, puts it in a bag, gets chased by. Again, this is one of the moments I'm like, where the fuck all these zombies come from, and why these zombies? The way they're moving doesn't make any sense. These zombies weren't even there. Why are they attacking her? Why are they running after her? You can say they smell blood, but it wasn't her blood. So what the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, so they end up chasing her. Jade end up going in this room, closes the door, and there's no way out. She tries to call her daughter with the phone that Baxter conveniently gave her earlier. He's like, "Hey, hold this," and I was like, "Why would you tell her to hold a phone? You could have just put that in your pocket." But that was given to her for this moment of her trying to contact her daughter because the zombies look like they're about to break through the door, and this could be her last moments to hear her daughter's voice. And even now, that scene I thought was okay. It's hard to like it because of her character, but I see what the potential behind it. If the character was much more likable, this could have been more of a moving scene. But they kind of ruin it because the next thing she's like, ah, fuck it, let me go ahead and go out swinging, and I get that part too, but the problem is, again, her character isn't likable. So when she says that, it basically just makes it seem like a character is going back to formula. It's not like an actual likable character. It's like, okay, well, if I'm going to die, I'm gonna take out as many zombies as I can, and you're like, you're gonna feel sorry for them. She gets ready to go do her thing, picks up the chainsaw. The son of a bitch literally dies because there's no gas. And did I mention that battery life on that cell phone was literally 1%? Some expert writing there. 1 per fucking cent. Okay. So picks up the chainsaw, can't do anything with it. Why? Because I guess there's no gas in it. I was like, fucking convenient, but alright. One thing I did think was weird though, she rolled up her sleeves. And I was thinking to myself, zombies usually attack people by biting them. Sleeves ain't much, but I would probably want to have as many layers between their teeth and my skin as I could get. So all of this exposed arm just got could just get nibbled on, and it could have been potentially stopped as she wore her sleeves down. So, anyways, gas and then the chainsaw throws the chainsaw to the side, hits a crate. The crate has a bunch of grenades in it. At first, I only seen one. Then later on, it's like 6 or 7 of them. But anyway, so she's like, okay, She gets a grenade, puts the table down, throws a grenade. Weirdly enough, it didn't seem like she threw the grenade at the door. It looked like I don't know where the fuck she threw the grenade. It didn't look like she threw it at the door. And my thing kind of was this: if you got a grenade, I probably wouldn't have thrown it in the same room that I was in. I probably like the door has openings in it, and yeah, the zombies and stuff are trying to get in, but you could have just I don't know pulled the pin, threw it out the door, and then took cover. Because at least you would have had the zombie bodies, the door, the space itself, and then the table protecting you. But she literally throws it on pretty much on the other side of the table, and I was like, ain't the blast radius like 15 feet? You're well within that 15 feet range, even if it is a wooden table right here. Table potentially ain't don't look too sturdy, so you could probably get fucked up with that table there too. But she throws a grenade, and instead of it going by the door, it looks like it flew over there right there next to the grenade, the other 6 grenades that were over there. And you're thinking it's going to explode, it doesn't explode. And you're like, okay, it was a dud. Zombies break through the door. Now, when the zombies break through the door, Jade is like standing up or whatever by the table. The very table that she took cover behind, she's standing up by it. Or around it, like close to where she was, but she was still kind of standing up. The zombies break through the door, then the grenades go off. And I'm thinking to myself, now one bit of shrapnel is going to fuck her up. Again, she's within the blast radius. She's not in cover. When it explodes, the shockwave alone should have fucked her up. Because it looked like the grenades blew up like 7 or 8 feet from her. Yeah, which is weird because she doesn't die, but all the fucking zombies that were in the doorway, in the hall and stuff die. And I was like, what the fuck? So it blew up in the room. It blew up all the zombies that were in the door and out the door, the whole crowd of them. You were in the room, and you weren't in particularly good cover, if you were in cover, and you didn't die. But that's an interesting POV shot of, I believe it's her, and she's all discombobulated, and her vision's going in and out, and her hearing is going in and out, which I like that too, because that's from what I've seen, what would probably happen if you were to get hit with such a powerful concussive force. So it's like, I like that scene. The zombie shows up, get ready to kill her. Baxter and the zombie's head blow up. Baxter's right there with a gun, and I was like, well, you shot that zombie's head in front of her head. That bullet probably would have hit her in the head too. Went through his head, with the zombie's head, and through her head. which I hate seeing shots like that where people shoot a creature or something like that in front of somebody else like that, because it's like, no, that bullet would have went through his head and probably went through your head too, because it was in that close of a vicinity. It ain't like the guy came up and shot the zombie in the side of the fucking head. Literally just shot the shoot the zombie head blows up. This guy's like this a couple of feet away. And he's like, no, it probably would have killed you too. But fine, so Baxter's still alive. Again, that, like I said, after the little action scene, pretty fucking badass. I got to give it to him. It was actually pretty badass in that scene. Scene didn't make any damn sense, but it was still fucking enjoyable. So they tried to get out. Baxter ends up saving her. Hold on. Oh, let's go back to the past. After that scene, they're like, okay, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We go to the past. Evelyn is talking with the reporter. She's like, you know about us, but we know about you. And I had this is in this little part where this camera is right behind Evelyn. Evelyn has a nice ass. She does. She's already a beautiful woman, but that nice ass, got to give it to her. It's nice. So, reporter even says Umbrella has a problem. He offers to fix it, and I'm like, so we're flip flopping the whole fucking time. You're talking about exposing them. Now you're talking about helping them fix their problem. And I was like, this guy's proposal, especially given the extensive history he has with trying to expose them for being um, basically an asshole, which the company actually is, and being run by. So we get out of that, go back into the future. Baxter and Jade are running from zombies. Where the fuck all these damn zombies are coming from, and why are they targeting them? They're literally like, it's like when you play Pac-Man, and you know how the ghosts be running around randomly, but there's times where the ghosts seem like they know where the fuck you're going, so you gotta try to beat them out of it, otherwise they're gonna get your ass. That's what the fuck is going on. These zombies just fucking coming out of the woodwork. It's not like they're miling about, which what zombies probably would fucking do. They're literally targeting these fucking two, just coming out of everywhere, coming after, and they're doing that stupid run thing where they run like this, and I'm like, why are they fucking running? They shouldn't be running at all. But anyways, so Baxter covers Jade. Jade finds like a ladder, but the ladder doesn't go all the way to the ground. So she jumps off the wall, catches it, starts climbing up. Baxter runs out of bullets. He tries to grab her foot, and she has to put for her to pull him up. And I'm looking at the area, and I'm thinking, I was like, well, if she did it, you probably could do it. But then again, you are kind of overweight. But I'm like, well, isn't there a thing on the wall, a pipe or something on the wall you could kind of climb up? So, needless to say, and it's weird because he keeps yelling, drop the bag. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a head in that bag. You said weighs about 15 pounds. You weigh like 200 something, if not 3. How the fuck is she, even if she dropped the head, how's she supposed to pick you up? So, Baxter Badass gets eaten alive by the fucking zombies. And Jade manages to escape. So, of course, we go back into the past. Billy and Jade are fucking running and running and running. Wesker's looking for them. The watch finally goes off, and Billy doesn't transform into a zombie. I wasn't really surprised. Were you? So all of this hype about her turning into a fucking zombie, she doesn't turn into a zombie. We kind of fucking knew that when we seen that she was that the dog bite was healing, that there was something special about her. We knew something earlier was special about her when Wesker kept taking her blood. You know, the same blood he kept injecting into himself. So I'm interested to see how they're going to play that angle, how he's going to be surprised after they showed several times that there's something unique about not only her but Jade as well. So, anyways, back to the present / future. Jade climbs out of a hatch in the ground, She finally found freedom, and then helicopter pops up, seemingly Umbrella. Earlier in the episode, Baxter said that he had them and that Umbrella was on their way. So we can safely assume this is probably Umbrella. Uh, my thoughts on the episode are there were some boring parts. The Brotherhood was fucking trash, completely underutilized. What could have made for pretty interesting character interactions, societal conversations, tense moments, all got resolved in one fucking episode. It wasn't like they're gonna take 2 or 3 episodes to escape, figure out, where the guards are posted. Some of the inmates tell them, hey, this is their schedule. Them actually taking the time out to plan. Nope, it was none of that stuff. Just fucking dumb. The only highlight, and I've said it before, the little scene with the action with Baxter, best scene. Flawed, didn't make any sense, entertaining as hell. So I'd say this episode a fucking 2. I want to say 3 because of the whole. You know what? I'm going to say it's a 3 because at one point Jay, I actually felt I knew Jay was going to make it through, but it was actually a good, tense moment for the character, despite me knowing this was going to make it through, and the fact that Baxter actually did something pretty cool. So I would give it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Episode 4, The Turn, gets a 3 out of 5. And the reason why they call it the fucking turn is I guess the sister is supposed to turn into a zombie this episode, but instead of her being quarantined, locked up somewhere safe, she's out fucking partying. Where potentially, if she did transform, a bunch of people can die and be infected. Anyways, in the comment section below, guys, let me know what are your thoughts about episode 4, The Turn. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite moment in the episode? And be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel. Until next time.